Every loss you have ever lived through, the person who left, the dream that collapsed, the door that closed in your face, was not a punishment from Allah. It was preparation. I want to tell you about a man named Yusuf. Not the prophet, though his story will come. I mean a man alive today. A man who had built everything. A business, a family, a reputation, a life he was proud of. Then, in the span of 18 months, the business failed, his marriage broke apart, his father passed away, and the friends he thought would stay didn't. He told me, I used to make dua every day. I used to pray, I used to give sadaqah, and then I watched everything I built crumbled into dust. I didn't understand what I had done wrong. Maybe you understand that feeling, that confusion that sits right between grief and anger, that quiet question you're almost afraid to ask. Allah, why? We've been taught from childhood that hardship is a test. We know the ayah, we've heard the hadith, we've nodded along in khutbahs. But knowing something in your mind and believing it in the dark of 3 a.m. when your chest feels hollow, those are two very different things. So let me not give you another reminder you already know. Let me ask you something instead. What if the thing Allah took from you was attached to who you used to be, not who you are becoming, who you used to be? There is a beautiful concept in the Quran that most of us rush past. Allah does not say, I will test the believers with hardship. He says something far more intimate than that. And we will surely test you with something of fear and hunger and a loss of wealth and lives and fruits. Surah Al-Baqarah 2:155. But notice what comes next. And give good tidings to the patient. He doesn't say, give good tidings to the ones who passed. He says, the ones who are patient. Present tense. Right now, in the middle of it, before the answer comes, before the door opens, before you can see why. This is where Yusuf, the man I told you about, made his first mistake. He was looking for an explanation. Allah was giving him a transformation. Now I want to take you back 14 centuries to a boy 17 years old, beloved by his father, gifted with a dream that suggested greatness. And then, in a single afternoon, thrown into a well by his own brothers, pulled out by strangers, sold into slavery, taken far from everything he had ever known. What did Yusuf, alayhi salam, lose? Everything. His family, his freedom, his name, his home. And the Quran tells us something extraordinary about this moment. It doesn't record Yusuf crying out in despair. It doesn't record him asking why. It records Allah saying, and Allah was predominant over his affair, but most of the people do not know. Surah Yusuf 12:21. Allah was in control, even in the well, even in the slave market, even in the prison cell, especially there. Here is what strikes me every time I sit with this story. If the brothers had not thrown Yusuf into the well, he never reaches Egypt. If he never reaches Egypt, he is never bought by Al-Aziz. If Al-Aziz never buys him, he never enters the palace. If he never enters the palace, he is never falsely accused. If he is never falsely accused, he never goes to prison. If he never goes to prison, he never meets the king's cupbearer. And if he never meets the king's cupbearer, he never stands before the king. And if he never stands before the king, he never saves an entire nation from famine. And his family, the very brothers who betrayed him, never bow before him in reunion. Slow down. Let this breathe. Every loss, every betrayal, every closed door was a corridor, not a wall.
So let me come back to Yusuf, the man alive today, the one with the failed business and the broken marriage and the empty house. I asked him, looking back now, do you understand why? He was quiet for a long time, and then he said, the business I built, I had made it my identity, not a tool, my identity. I had started to believe that my worth came from my success, and when it collapsed, I had nothing left to hide behind. I had to come back to Allah, not because life was good, but because He was all I had. And that was the first time in years I actually came back. Really came back. Allah didn't take His business to punish him. Allah took it to return him. There is a hadith that says, the greatest reward comes with the greatest trial. When Allah loves a people, He tests them. When Allah loves a people, He tests them. Not ignores them, not abandons them, tests them. Which means if you are being tested, you are not forgotten. You are seen.
I don't know what you've lost. I don't know which door closed on you, which relationship ended, which dream fell apart, which version of your life you're still grieving. But I want to offer you something, not as comfort that removes the pain, but as a lens that changes how you hold it. Allah is Al-Lateef, the subtle, the gentle, the one who works in ways too fine for the eye to catch. He is not the God who drops blessings from the sky on the obedient. He is the God who weaves, who takes the broken thread of your story and stitches it into something you could not have designed yourself. The thing He took from you, perhaps it was too small for where He is taking you. Perhaps it was keeping you attached to a version of yourself that He wanted to release you from. Perhaps, and this is the hardest one to hold, it was the very thing standing between you and Him.
Yusuf, the prophet, peace be upon him, after all the loss, all the years, all the pain, stood in his palace and said, "My Lord, you have given me something of sovereignty and taught me of the interpretation of dreams. Creator of the heavens and earth, you are my protector in this world and in the hereafter." Surah Yusuf 12:101. He did not say, "You put me through so much." He said, "You gave me." Every step of the way, the well, the slavery, the prison, all of it was giving. It just didn't look like it at the time. May Allah make easy what feels impossible. May He give your grief a name and your patience a reward. And may He show you in this life even a glimpse of why.